I'm Rebecca with VDDS, and I just kind of want to do a little bonus video for you. It's not really related to my channel, but over on Facebook I was sharing about my Airbnb experience, and I thought that this was a really good example of how to give customer service and how not to give customer service, and hopefully you might even just be entertained by the story. So I had used Airbnb many times in the past. I would say at least 8 to 10 times over the past few years, and this is the first time that I had had a not great experience, questionable experience. Through this experience, I definitely discovered some things you should know about Airbnb if you're going to use them in the future. So hopefully this video will entertain you, but also give you a heads up on if you use their platform. So I booked a trip for my husband and I to go see the Painted Hills. They're located about 6 hours east of me. So a little bit of a drive for sure. Beautiful drive. If you're planning on going over there, I hear spring and fall are the best times because it is kind of a desert area. And it's over near Michell in Oregon, if you aren't familiar with the area. And so yeah, I found this house. It was like, I think at least 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, and so it was like tons of space, really good deal, or so I thought. And then yeah, so me and my husband could stay there for a couple days, have plenty of space, and just enjoy it. It was definitely outdated. I knew that going in, like it's from the 70s, but I'm like, you know what, I could deal with that as long as it's clean and well maintained. Blast from the past is not a bad thing. And so we went ahead and stayed there. I booked the place and about 2 months in advance. So my husband and I would get in the car. We ended up planning to get there around like 5 or to 6. Still light out. So yeah, beautiful drive. We pull in, and Michell is kind of an older town, a little very, very small. I think there's like 140 people that live there. So basically you blink and you miss it if you're not expecting to stay there. And so yeah, we get into town and it's kind of like a ghost town, and then the house outside of the house is like super run down. Kind of looks like a haunted house a little bit. But I'm like, okay, this is fine. And one person noted in the comments of the review that the key was not in the lockbox, but the door was open, and per the listing, the host lives on premise. So, they didn't have a big deal with that. I figured, okay, like I could expect that. Another review noted that there was no toilet paper and no towels and things like that. But again, if he's going to be around, that could have been an oversight. And as long as it gets resolved, that's totally fine. Not super, picky. I just want a nice day, nice, peaceful, and all everything that's expected, I guess, from the listing, right? So we get there and I look up the instructions, follow the instructions that are on there. I had gotten a notification that my reservation was confirmed. I did not hear back from the host though. And so I guess that's a huge red flag for anybody is, ideally, you book your stay and you hear from the host right away, welcoming you, wanting to know about you because you are coming to their house, right? Even if they're renting it out, they want to make sure that you're a good person as well. So it's kind of nice to get to know them, even if it's just a couple messages back and forth. So this was my first experience not getting that. But anyway, so we get there and I go up to the lockbox, put in the code, and no key. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try the handle and see if it's unlocked. And it was. So my husband and I go in. It's as expected so far. Looks exactly like the pictures. Definitely 70s. Like, yeah, quiet. We're like, okay, we're here. We'd brought some stuff from the car, to get comfortable. So I'm like, let's just go upstairs. Since that's where the bedrooms are, we can, set our stuff down. So we head up the stairs, and I noticed that it's kind of dirty. You could tell that it hadn't been vacuumed. The bathroom, there was dirt on the floor. I didn't look any further. My husband said that it was worse than that because he ended up using the restroom after that long drive. And in the meantime, I had looked through the bedrooms and there was no bedding on any of the beds where the doors were open, which was 2 of the doors upstairs. And I looked in the closets and, I'm trying to find, is there bedding? Can we work with this? And there was not. So while my husband used the restroom, I went ahead and gave the host a call. There was no answer. I left him a voicemail. At this point, I know we're not staying here because it just felt weird at that point too. But no bedding, no towels, like this is just not a good situation. But yeah, he didn't respond. And so I was like, okay, my husband comes out. It's like, okay, we're gonna go ahead and find somewhere else to stay. So we head down the stairs, and to the left, while I'm walking down the stairs, I see a woman in the kitchen and standing in the corner of the kitchen with her back to us. And I say, hello, are you there? And no response. It was really creepy to be in this outdated house and so quiet. You think you have the place to yourself, right? When you book an entire place, and that was not the case. And my husband, in a deeper voice, said hello, and she did turn around, and actually very sweet girl, probably in her early 20s. And turns out that she actually lives there and she rents a room. The house was sold about a month prior to us arriving, and the new owner was renting out rooms individually to workers in the town. So once we realized that, again, for sure, we're not staying here, we did leave our stuff upstairs, so we went back up, and then when we came down, or as we were going to come down, I met another house guest who had also recently moved in. So 2 younger people, super nice, but again, not what we were expecting, not what we paid for. Super weird, right? So we're like, okay, we're gonna find a motel. We need to find something. It's almost 6 o'clock at night. We have nowhere to stay. We're 6 hours away from home. Kind of a crazy situation. Thankfully, it was a Sunday night. It was a couple weeks back. And it was actually Easter of 2022. And, people are home at that point. So, I think if things were going to be booked, it probably would have been Friday night, Saturday night. So we kind of lucked out as far as that goes. So we did end up finding a motel nearby. So it was fine. We still were able to go see the Painted Hills. Beautiful. And I'll put some pictures here if you want to see them. But yeah, so crazy experience. But what I learned is Airbnb also wants you to have proof of things. So that's something that we should have known going in. I wish I would have taken pictures of it being dirty. Potentially the people living there, they probably would have done it. They were really nice again. But yeah, I didn't realize that I was going to have to prove myself. And so I ended up, requesting a refund from Airbnb, and I got a lot of pushback from them, which I wasn't really expecting. They seemed to initially side with the host and want the host and the guest to work things out themselves, which does make sense. This is a business for people. So it was just weird because I kept having to go back to them saying my issue is not resolved, because I mentioned that the house was dirty and they wanted proof that the house was dirty. And I had to explain to them that really wasn't the issue. The main issue was this was not available to be rented out to begin with. And, just notice that, I'm a really good customer. I've never had issues in the past. And also please note that the host has not responded to me or Airbnb. And so ultimately they did end up siding with me. I got a full refund as of today. So almost 2 weeks later, and a coupon for $100 off a future stay. So that is really nice of them. I do appreciate that. I do wish their process was a little bit faster, but because they did side with me and they gave me the coupon, I do appreciate that. And so I will probably stay with Airbnb again. I just wanted to give you the story. Hopefully you find this helpful. So yeah, if you do have issues, be sure to take pictures and just look for that really good communication with your host when you're staying at an Airbnb. So that's it for my story. Let me know if you have any comments below, and I hope you the best travels with whatever adventure that you're going to go on next.